So we've got a two-parter, I believe, is what this is. And first part up here is translate the phrase. Let's see, translate the phrase to an algebraic expression. That's basically write it using the language of mathematics. That's really what I want you to think of that as. So you've got 9 more than a number. So the phrase more than usually means addition. So, and we're supposed to use this, we're told first assign the variable. Okay, so what is x going to represent? X is going to represent that missing number. So x is going to represent, I don't know, it's going to be the missing number maybe, is what it might say here. I don't know. I don't remember. The missing number. Or it might just say x represents a number. I don't know. Now we're ready to write the expression down here. So what is the expression? So it's going to be 9 more than that number. And we've decided that x represents that number. So 9 more than x becomes 9 plus x. Now if you wanted to, you could have written x plus 9 because addition doesn't, the order doesn't matter, so you can switch them around. Kind of like saying 3 plus 4 is 7 and 4 plus 3 is 7, so the order doesn't matter, so the order doesn't matter over here. Either of those would work. I'm going to do some more. It says translate to an algebraic expression 15 less than q. All right, so the translation, 15 less than q. So the first thing we're supposed to know is, well, what's being subtracted? Like if I were to say, let's ignore the letter q, right? And let's put in the number 100. So what is 15 less than 100? Oh, well, that would mean you'd do 100 minus 15, and you'd get 85. You would take whatever this number is and subtract by 15. Well, since it said 15 less than q, that means we're going to do q minus 15, which is the algebraic way of doing something that I kind of did with plain old numbers. So here the expression is 14 times d. So one way you could write that is just straight up 14 times d. But you know, now that we're in algebra, we don't really want to use the x as our times symbol, because that could get confused, of course, with the variable x as a variable for algebra. So you got a couple of choices. One way is you could do 14.x, and that might be one of those tools over here to give you that dot right there. Another way you could do it is you could do 14 parenthesis d. That means 14 times d. And then the most easy, economical, efficient way is just to put 14d. Because whenever you have a number right next to a letter, that means multiply those two. So 14 times d would be written 14d. Here we got translate the sum of x and b. So what does the word sum means? It means you're going to add. And then x and b. So we're going to add x and b. So it's going to be x plus b. Or if you want, you could do b plus x, because addition is commutative. It means you can switch the order and it's still okay. And so either of those would work. Here, translate the phrase to an algebraic expression. Now this is a two-parter here. A number divided by 9, and the first thing we're supposed to do is let x represent something. Now what is x going to represent? It's going to represent a number, so it's going to represent a number. Now I don't know if it's going to say your pull-down option here is going to say a number, but it's going to be something along those lines. And now it's supposed to be, now we're supposed to write down our algebraic expression. So a number divided by 9. So you can do it since we're told that we're going to use x as our variable. So we could write x divided by 9. Another way we could write x, a number divided by 9 could be x over 9. So either of these would work. Now what will not work is this, because that's exactly backwards compared to what it's supposed to be. And what also will not work is this. Both of these say 9 divided by x, and that's no good because we want a number divided by 9. So these are your answers, and these are just dead wrong. And then here, another two-parter. First part says we are supposed to translate this phrase. So the product of a car's speed and traveling time. So let's let first assign the variables. Let x represent, oh my goodness, the product of a car's speed. So I'm assuming x is going to represent a car's speed because we don't actually know the car's speed. It's not like it's 28 miles per hour. So we're going to say x represents a car's speed, and if I'm wrong, I want you guys to tell me, and then I will fix this video. And then b is going to represent the traveling time. So we're going to put traveling time. All right, and now we're ready to write the expression. Now the thing is, you need to know, what does the word product mean? Product is the answer to a multiplication. Oops. Multiplication problem. So product is the answer to the multiplication problem. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be multiplying these two things. And we know that x is the car's speed, and we know that b is the traveling time. So the product of x and b is going to be written like this, xb. Now we could have written parentheses around those. We could have done just x and then a parenthesis. We could have used a dot. All of these mean x times b. And then the last one, translate again. 1/3 of a number plus 1/6 of a different number. So 1/3 of a number. Now, do we know what that number is? No, so that's going to be our x. All right. Oh, in fact, it says x is the first number, y is the second number. All right, so 1/3 of x, so that means we're going to multiply, because usually the word of suggests we're going to multiply. So, and then plus, so there's a plus right here, and then we've got 1/6 of a different number. Do we know what this number is? No. So we're going to use the letter y. Why? Because it says so right here. So 1/3 of x. 1/3 of x means 1/3 x. And then we've got the plus, because that's this right here. And then it's 1/6 of y. So the word of usually means multiply, and it does mean multiply in this case. We don't need to put a time sign, because when you have a number next to a letter, that automatically means multiply. But if you really wanted to, you could say 1/3 times x plus 1/6 times y, and that would work as well.